All righty. Give you guys some time to come in. Hello, Grand Rising. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. Give you guys a few seconds to come on in before we get started. Awesome. Hello. Make sure you guys please, all my YouTubers, like, yes. Alrighty. I'm having some connection errors lately. Goodness. You know what? Let me see something. Hold on, guys. Let me turn this. Okay, we're going to hope my internet does not act goofy today because my internet has been goofy. The Wi-Fi is so goofy. It's so sickening. But all right, guys, let's go and get started. Grand Rising. Thank you guys for coming in. Hello. This is Tahiri Divine, also known as Diana, the Metaphysical Midwife, help to assist you to birth your divine destiny. We are here today with the third day of our Power of Prayer. And I am so happy to be here with you all today. So come on in. You guys have been following me on this series. Okay, so today we're having some technical difficulties, it seems, with the internet connection. Boo-hoo, whoop, whoop. But we're going to get started. We're not going to let that stop us because today is a wonderful day and it's an awesome day and we are glad to be here and enjoy in it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started, guys. So we've been doing our series for the next 30 days. We are talking about the power of prayer and implementing prayer into your life as a daily spiritual practice. One of my goals here is to not just one of my goals. One of my life purposes here is to really understand the power of routine and ritual in one's life as it pertains to leveling up our life and the transcendence of our experience here on Earth and tapping into our resource or our source of self to live our life and live the dreams and live the purpose that we came here to live. And in order to do that, routine, ritual, and having some type of practice laid out or having something involved in that matter is what's going to really help assist you in your journey for that. So that's something that I really, really enjoy, is tapping into a routine, is tapping into our daily, cultivating a daily practice. So yes. Grand Rising. Hello, Deanna. Good morning. Grand morning. Oh, let me turn this baby around. But yay! So let's go ahead and get started because I don't want this video to be over an hour. I really want to kind of keep it within the 40-minute time mark. So we're gonna get started so we won't be here too long. So today we're talking about the power of prayer. So today's message is going to be coming from talking about communication, because we understand that prayer to be an ebb and flow of communication with the great divine, our higher self, God, universe, and we understand that as a way of an active means in our personal journey to affirm or to communicate exactly what it is that we desire to see in our life. So today's message is going to be talking about intuition. So our message comes today from our oracle message, which is the moon, which says take note of intuitive messages, which is important because we know that our intuition, right? Our intuition is the compass or the guide that helps us throughout our journey. And many of us, myself included, have not always utilized our God-given ability, our God-given right of our intuition. Many times there's we'll get these inklings, whether it's in our stomach or just kind of feel it fluttering in our heart, like, oh man, this is right or this is wrong. And particularly when we have a feeling that something's wrong or doesn't resonate, that's kind of how you know your intuition is guiding you on what to engage in and what not to engage in. And too many times or too often, we don't always listen to that inkling or that quickening we feel in our spirit, right? So we're talking about the power of prayer. I'm focusing today on the power of prayer when it comes to enhancing your intuition. And one of the prayers today that we'll be focusing or discussing about is utilizing and building up our intuition, because your intuition is going to be your guiding force that's going to help guide you and lead you on your path. And when you don't listen to that very thing, it can be detrimental to your experience. It can either deter you off your life path, or it can actually make the journey a little longer. So we want to ensure that we are building ourselves up and building up that intuition, trusting that voice. I like to liken the intuition much to your muscles, right? Just the same way as you would build a muscle in your physical body, your intuition is the muscle of your spiritual body. And if we don't listen to that, or don't align ourselves with it, or don't build it up, it'd be very difficult in our personal lives as far as to know and trust ourselves as far as knowing what is right for us and what is not. Okay. So let's go into the message today. Let's go ahead and start with our prayer. We're going to start with the prayer today. So we're going to say, if I can get you to breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. And one big breath. Breathe out. We just want to say thank you to the great divine spirit, our ancestors and angels of our highest and greatest good, for being with us in the sacred place today as we gather together, as we come together and tapping into the power of prayer as our spiritual gift with the divine to communicate, to affirm in our lives. Today we talk about affirming ourselves and our intuition, trusting this inkling in our spirit that's given to us freely to use. It is a guide for us to continue to maneuver through life and to use it as a way to help level up our lives and be the guiding force to get us through our journey and to guide us to the luxurious, the wonderful gifts and blessings that has been bestowed upon us in this life and to come. And all these things we say, Ashe. Ashe. All right. I see you guys are coming in. All right. Hey. Well, let's get into it. Okay. So I want to talk about intuition. I'm gonna share this experience that happened yesterday, or not so much experience, but a conversation I had with a friend of mine yesterday. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this couple, Dana Chanel and her husband Prince. I'm not really familiar with their stories, but I've seen their videos have went viral a few times on Facebook, is where I was introduced to them. I was introduced to them first through the husband, through a viral video that he had when he was talking about his relationship with his wife while they were dating prior to getting married, and how he knew she was the woman for him. So if you guys are familiar with them, I'm going to be giving just a little, talking about this just a little bit about, not so much about them, but about people who had used their services, or not used their service, but bought into their business and feel like they were scammed by this couple, Dana Chanel and her husband. So it was brought to my attention yesterday through a post of my girlfriend that there's this whole Instagram page dedicated to specifically Dana Chanel, about being a scammer. And although I'm not familiar with them, I just saw a few videos of theirs that have been viral. I haven't kept up with their businesses or what they do or anything like that. So I just wasn't really familiar with them. So when I went to this page to kind of see like, oh, scamming, let me see what this is about, I was going through just a few of the posts on this Instagram page of the victims who felt they were victimized by Dana Chanel and her husband, and reading through just about, I'll say this, about 99.9% of every one of these victims all said something similar to the fact that they felt something wasn't right, but they gave their money anyway. And at that point, I was like, oh, well, there are no victims here. they're only volunteers. Because if you felt something wasn't right, but you gave your social security number anyway, you gave your money anyway, at that point, you went against your own intuition and you made yourself a volunteer for whatever mess that they may have, mess of a business or whatever it is. So I'm not really familiar with their business. I think it was something like a credit, like clean or fix your credit type of business maybe. And I was just reading through this, and I have to be very clear, guys. Accountability for yourself is so imperative in your walk in your life. Accountability for yourself is so imperative for your walk in life. And when we talk about this accountability, we all, especially as adults, because these are adults here. These were not children. These were not, fools of by any means. They may have been foolish people, but they weren't fools by any means. These were people who who claimed out their own mouth in their videos that they felt something wasn't right about this couple, but they trusted them anyway. They put their trust in an outside source, more trust in an outside source than what their own intuition was telling them. And now they want to say they got by this couple, but I'm like, no, congratulations. You played yourself because you felt in your spirit that this wasn't right, but you still gave anyway. You still put your money into it. You still gave your information. And now you didn't get back what you felt should have been returned to you. And now you want to complain or create this victimhood mentality or trigger this emotional response to victimization as if you did not willfully participate in this said scam of whatever, right? So I brought that example up as a means to focus on your intuition. Okay, so today's message is talking about the intuition. So we're talking about the power of prayer. We're talking about faith and trust, right? Because it's one thing to pray for a thing. It's another thing to have the faith and the trust to back it up on what it is that you're speaking on, or what is that you say that you desire in your life. And too many times we, myself included in this, do not trust our intuition, and then we end up in these situations or situationships that are not beneficial to ourselves or our experience at the moment. I like them to say that nothing's for waste. Everything's for your good. Even your negative bad experiences are still for your good if you take the wisdom that can come with it. So in order to avoid these hardships in our own life, it is important for us to have the faith and trust in ourselves. And like I was saying earlier, having your spiritual practice intact not only helps you maneuver through life with ease, not saying that life will be easy, but it will help you to maneuver life with ease and grace versus bumping your head and constantly having situations to show to yourself like, hey, if I only would have listened to my own inner voice, I wouldn't be in this predicament. So we're talking about your intuition today. And another card that we're going to be using that's going to be relevant to our conversation is the Shaolin Master. And this one says to be graceful in your movement and in action. And I like how he has the praying mantis right here. And the praying mantis is a really interesting creature, for it is known for its stance to seem as if it's ready for something. Like, that is what I believe prayer is. Prayer is the preparation of a thing. And with the preparation, being prepared for a thing because you are affirming it, because remember we said it starts with the mind. We affirm it with our mouths. We believe it with our hearts. And we express it through our actions. And the greatest thing to do when it comes to expressing it with your actions is trusting your intuition when it tells you to sit and when it tells you to move. So today's focus when it comes to the power of prayer is focusing and praying and affirming your own intuition by telling yourself that you trust yourself enough. You trust yourself enough to not only claim the thing that you desire or claim the experiences that you desire and want to have in your life, the opportunities that you want in your life, but you also trust in your inner knowing that it will happen and that you are willing to do the actions that it takes to get there. For example, if you are trusting for a new job, right? If you are praying for a new job, it's not enough just to affirm that you have a job. You have to now do the actions that helps create the pathways or the avenues to get a new job. Okay? So you got to put your application in. You got to have your cover letter. You got to have your resumes. You need to have these things in place as creating pathways to draw to you exactly what you want. And using your intuition to know that it's going to come to pass, and listening to your own inner wisdom and guidance on how you need to go about doing so. Okay, so this message is not very long, but I really want to ensure that we understand this and we tap into our ability of using this inner guidance and using that as a means to get to that thing that we need and to very much avoid situations or experiences that are not necessary for our path so that we can get to where we need to be. Okay, so I see you guys. I got people coming in. Thank you. Please come on, like, comment, show me some hearts that we're here, that we resonate, that we understand what's being said as far as talking about the intuition and building that up. Does anyone have any specific questions or they want to add anything to the conversation? Yep, let me see here. What am I doing? Oh, I see the hearts. I see the likes. Let's see here. What's YouTube saying? Yes, trusting your intuition has been imperative in my journey. Ashe. Ashe. Exactly. I know from my own personal experiences when it comes to intuition, what else builds the intuitive muscle? You know what builds the intuitive muscle is listening to your inner wisdom, your body. Our bodies is a wonderful vehicle to let us know when something is right and something is wrong. Like when you have those hairs that stand up on your arm or your back of your neck, or that jerk that you feel in your stomach. It is slowing down enough to listen and pay attention to your own bodily triggers, right? So that's one example as far as being connected with yourself, as far as listening to your body triggers. Our body is a wonderful vehicle in doing that. Another way to help build up our intuitive muscle is taking time in meditation, right? We talk about prayer, but meditation is the other part of that. Meditation is when you're sitting down with yourself or standing up, whatever, but your stillness. Your meditation is your stillness. And I'll give you this example for myself. I suffered from anxiety for a very, very long time. And with my form of anxiety was this idea of always second guessing myself because I'm thinking, well, I should have done this. Maybe I should have done this. Well, if I would have been this way, this would have happened. So I was always playing these voices in my mind was always telling me I should have been this, I should do this. And when I was learning to sit with myself and to allow these voices to just have their say and maneuver through them to realize, well, which voice is mine? Is these voices telling me that I should have done this, I should be like this, I should move like this? Is this really truly my voice? Or is this me attaching other voices to me on what I perceive or what they perceive I should be? So the one way to really build your intuitive muscle is to sit with yourself. If you deal with anxiety or deal with this constant mental chatter, is to sit with yourself and not so much clear your mind, but allow every thought that you have to play out. And once it plays out, get to a place where there's stillness in your mind and say, hey, this is my voice. This is me talking to myself now. This is me listening to myself. So that is one way to help build up your intuitive muscle. Another way to help you build up your intuitive muscle is through spiritual tools like oracle cards, like tarot, like astrology. Like these things are tools. And I tell people like these tools they're not the ones that's giving you the message. It's your own self giving yourself the message through the tools. But you can definitely utilize these tools to build up your trust in your faith in yourself. Most of the time where we don't listen to our intuition is because we have been conditioned through our experiences that we do not know what's best for ourselves. As much as we say, oh, I love myself, as much as we say these self-affirming things of self-love, but to truly love yourself is to trust yourself and to trust that you know what's best for you. So that to me is one way to continue to build your intuition. I can say when I started my spiritual journey, when I started using the tarot was one of the tools that I used to help build myself up, to trust myself as far as listening to my messages that was being given to me. And I got to a place where I was like, okay, not that I don't use the tarot anymore, because I still do every now and then, but I got into a place where I feel it and I know it's my inner voice, and I act on it. So do what's necessary, and it takes time. Spirituality is not a race, all right? This is not a race to see how fast one can ascend or how fast one can transcend. This is your own journey. Allow your journey to unfold the way it needs to unfold. And do not look to the left of you. Do not look to the right of you and say, oh, this person's like this, so I need to be like that. Or this person is like this, or this person is here, so I need to do this to be there. Not saying that we cannot be inspired by other people's journeys, but it is important to remember you have your own path. Trust in your path. And I'm telling you, so many times me, myself included, we can get caught up in what we think where we should be at, or where we think we need to be doing versus where we really are and what we should be doing. And you are exactly where you are right here, right now, wherever you are in your path. That's where you're at. And that's exactly where you need to be to continue to build and grow. So take it as a plant. Every day, there's some different work that you have to do. You have to water it. You have to till to it. You have to make sure you're keeping the pests away from it so that this plant can grow. And that is like your intuition, and that is your life path. So yeah, so use these guidelines or these guidances, these tools to help get you through. Ashe. Hello, mentalist. Welcome, welcome. Hello. But yes, I see anybody on anybody in the chat over here. Hello. And rising to my YouTubers. We are having a bomb diggity. You know, there's something I want to pull up. What do I do with that thing? Give me a second, guys. There's something I want to pull up that talks about trust. You guys know I'm a bookworm, so I do love books. But I want to say this too, when it comes to books are great. You know, reading, knowledge is power, yes. But more important than knowledge is wisdom. And I was told that wisdom is the right application of knowledge. So it's one thing to gather knowledge. It's another thing as knowing how to properly apply the knowledge in your life. So a lot of us want to know, well, what book do I need to read for this? Or where can I find information on that? And I'm all for it. But honestly, everything you need to know, you already know it. And many times, too many times, when I do readings or consultations with people, most of the time, people already know the answer. It's again, we sometimes feel that we need an outside source to remind us or tell us what it is that we already know. But I want to say this as pertains to your intuition, guys. It says, dealing with this card, the moon card, right? It says, the lunar energies are surrounding your life, allowing you to understand what is standing in your way. Not everything is as it seems, and you're being guided to use your discernment. Discernment is key. Discernment. When the moon appears, intuitive or psychic urges are increased. So take note of any feelings that arise at this time. They are messages from your soul and your angels. The moon shines her light on all that has been kept in the dark. So ask yourself if you are avoiding anything or refusing to deal with something of great importance. If so, it could be holding you in the shadows when your destiny is to be in the light. If this card appears when you, okay, yes. So the moon has no secret. She reveals all. So if you truly want to know a thing, trust your intuition to guide you through the thing because you have all the answers already. Okay. Let's see. And you know, another thing when it comes to your intuition, it's not going to be a loud, boisterous voice or feeling. It is going to be a small inkling. It's going to be very subtle. And as you listen to that subtleness, right, it's going to build it and it's going to get a little louder. Just a little bit louder. Even when it does get a little louder, it still is not very loud. It's a small subtleness. And that is key for us to know the importance of when to act and when to stay still. So today, when it comes to your prayer journey today, affirm yourself in your intuition. Tell yourself, I trust myself. I trust my own inner guidance. I trust in the divine wisdom of my own body, of my mind, and of my heart. And in doing so, I live the desired life. So start that again. I trust in my own inner wisdom. I trust in the divine. I trust that I shall acquire all that I desire. Trust, intuition, trust, faith, prayer, meditation, all go hand in hand. This is why we have the Shaolin Master. We are asked to master ourselves. And in order to do that, you must do that with grace and you must do that with stillness. And I'm going to read this message here. It says, you are being guided to flow like water, to blow like air, and to connect with your purest intentions. Do not feel you need to rush ahead. A gentle approach will be more fruitful and rewarding. Move with subtlety and grace. Reach high, but also ask yourself, how can you move with flow of life rather than pushing against it? Can you slow down or take more time to soften and breathe as you move forward? All of this will be incredibly beneficial for what happens next in your life. So, discipline is going to be important in this time in our lives as far as trusting ourselves. It takes discipline to trust yourself. It takes discipline to implement a practice. It takes discipline to do a thing every day. Every day. And to see the true benefits and the results of a thing is to continually do something. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for tuning in for day 3 of the power of prayer. And we talk about intuition. If there's anything you guys want to say, I'll going to take some questionings. If not, we will call it a day or a morning or a day. We'll call it a day. Awesome. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in with me. I go by Tahiri Divine. You can find me on all my social sites as Tahiri Divine. If you're interested in booking a consultation or session with me, you may do so in the links in my description and also on my YouTube links description. I do a free 15-minute consultation because typically we don't always know what consultation or session that we need to do. And I like to have that consultation with you to see what service that I provide would be best beneficial for you if there is any service I provide that would be beneficial. And if I don't have it, I definitely know who I can refer you to. I don't sit here to pretend and say I'm the be all end all. If there's something that I know that I may not be able to help you with this particular part of your journey, but if I can guide you to somewhere, I will do so. Well, all right. Thank you guys for coming in today. I will see you guys later today because you guys know Wednesdays and Thursdays is my live day. So I have another message later this afternoon. I'll be coming live later today and sharing that with you guys. Until then, I look forward. Have a wonderful and empowered morning. And I wish you wealth, great health, and wisdom all the days of your life. All right. Ashe, everyone. Bye.